Hey, if you're struggling to stand out in this competitive job market where employers are getting more selective about their candidates and the quality of job postings are getting worse, then listen up. In this episode, I'm sharing 7 simple strategies you can put into practice today to outshine your competition in any job market and turn those job rejections into job offers. I'm Heather Austin, a university professor turned entrepreneur and career strategy expert. And on this channel, I simplify the complex and often tedious tasks of job searching into straightforward, actionable strategies that you can put into practice right now. If you're tuning in on YouTube, do me a big, huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more insightful videos just like this. And for our podcast listeners, a quick rating and review on your favorite podcasting app would mean the world to us. Your support and feedback allow us to keep making content just like this for you. Some of the biggest challenges job seekers face today is lack of self-awareness, unclear goals, and sometimes fear of change. Now, not only that, outshining the competition isn't easy with skill gaps, networking hurdles, and of course, the need for a strong personal brand. So let's dive into 7 steps to help you gain greater career clarity and stop getting ghosted. I want to share with you guys 7 things really quickly. And I'm calling this like the 7-step blueprint because a lot of times we get super confused. I told you guys earlier, messages that I get all the time is I'm getting led on by recruiters and then I'm getting ghosted. I'm getting totally burned out by my job search. It goes on and on and on. So we are going to figure out a way to get you clarity. This is not a problem, that you know exactly what positions you're applying for so that you can be some of those success stories that say, hey, guess what? I found the job in record time, 3 weeks, just like Chuck shared earlier. So when we talk about career fluidity, what I want you to think about is knowing that your career, it's not a destination, it's a journey. I think a lot of us get wrapped up in this thought that, hey, I need to go to school, I need to get this education, and then I need to stay in the same job for 20, 30 years. Both my parents worked for the government. I became a university professor. I thought I was going to be a university professor forever before YouTube came around and all sorts of things. So I grew up thinking, I need to stay in this job forever, right? Well, here's the thing. It's okay to be fluid. It's okay to try something for 2 years, a year, 5 years, and then change and do something a little bit different. We don't have to get set in our ways in terms of where we go with our career. I feel like the younger generation is a lot better at this than the older generation, right? Because we are seeing that if you're not happy after a couple of years, it's okay to move on. Now, I really want you to think about other industries that you could potentially move into and just know that you don't have to be on that same career path forever. Now, the next part to this is crafting your ideal job blueprint. I'm going to share an example of this with you, but last month I shared, we developed a brand new job search planner and workbook where I actually have you go through most of these steps. But when we think about your ideal job blueprint, you guys gave me some awesome ideas here in terms of what would that job look like? And we had fun with it, right? In fact, I see that someone says a classical dancer, someone says a cloud architect. Like we're kind of having fun with this. Someone said a skydiver. But when you're looking at your ideal job or what that day-to-day looks like, imagine that perfect job. Focus on your daily tasks. What does the work environment look like? What do the team dynamics look like? What impact would you like to make in the world? Like really have a mental model of what that looks like. So I'm going to share a link with you in just a second where you can get the job search playbook, which by the way, you guys, all these links and everything I'm sharing with you up to this point, these are all free resources that you can dive into and get started with right away. So my action step for you, and this is the exact statement I have in the job search planner and workbook, is describe what your day-to-day looks like. What is your ideal job? What type of work are you doing? What tasks are you handling? How does your typical workday unfold? How many hours are you working? What is the work environment? Like we could go on and on and on about describing this. I really, really, really want you to do this, okay? If you can grab the job search planner, which let me share the link for that as well. This is also located in the description of the video. This is just one, it's like a 12-page planner, but on one of the pages, we really break down what does that ideal job look like. In fact, here is just a picture of the planner, heatheraustin.online/planner. Okay, next part to career clarity. And then I'm going to answer some questions here is showcasing your top skills and your strengths. So again, this is where if you can start thinking about what am I really good at, or what can I put on my resume or my cover letter or in my LinkedIn profile that's really going to make me stand out, and how can these skills relate to the industry? Like, for example, if I'm really good at like accounting, right? Am I applying for accounting jobs? Or maybe I'm applying to be that chef, right? You have to make those skills coincide with each other. It has to relate to the industry that you're going into. So really thinking about how can you really show your strengths and your skill set. Now, inside of that job search planner, by the way, which is free for you guys, I have an activity in there where I have you list your strongest skills, and I have you list 10 of them, but I want you to list the ones that are most relevant to your desired industry and role. So really think about that, again, is in the job search planner. The next step to this is networking with industry insiders. I want you to think about, and networking, there's so many layers to this onion that we could peel back and we could talk about for days. But what I want you to think about is just think about people that are already in your desired field or have a job title that you want. It could be people you know, maybe it's people you don't know that you're third degree connections with or second degree connections with. Maybe it's just random people that you go to LinkedIn and you search up job titles and you look at what they do and you say, oh, that person has a job title similar to what I want, or that person's doing something similar to what I want. I like to encourage you to spend 30, 40 minutes a day on LinkedIn and reach out to 5 people. So I really want you to start using this as a tool for your career path because it's going to change everything for you. Now, LinkedIn is amazing for your initial contact, which I'm going to share a template with you in just a second, but then you can take it further from there and get their email, or you can even continue to interact with them through LinkedIn messaging. Now, the next piece to this is initiating those meaningful conversations. So we have the people that we want to contact. We have to make the connections with them very meaningful. So we need to show genuine interest in them and their career path and what they've been doing. Okay. This is definitely going to help as you go through this process. Now, I have a personalized message that I want you to reach out. If you're reaching out to someone, take a screenshot of this. This is sort of a version of what Austin shares on his podcast, but I changed it up a little bit because I wanted it to be short enough that you could put it in a connection request on LinkedIn. If I remember right, you only have 300 characters. You can make this even shorter, even if you don't even mention their name, if you had to take that part out. So I came across your LinkedIn profile while looking for someone with your expertise. I was really impressed by your work in yada, 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 especially your role in, and then list the role. I'm currently exploring different paths in the industry and would love to learn about your journey from X to Y and Z, or it could even be from your journey from X to Y. If possible, I'd appreciate any insights or advice you could share. Now, tailor this message to how you would want to speak to someone. But this is a really, really, really good starting point for you. If you're finding these people on LinkedIn, you want to connect with them, right? So we're not just going to connect. We have to connect with a message. We have our meaningful connections. I want you to experiment in your targeted field. So if you don't try something, you'll never know if you like it, right? Get your hands wet, get some experience with the industry that you might want to go into. I think asking questions is such a great way to learn more about the field. Like I know I've told you guys this story before. When I was first graduating college, we had an assignment where we had to go interview like 3 people in different fields to decide if we wanted to do that field. So I picked a child psychologist. I love children and I want to be a child psychologist. I picked a lawyer and then I picked an accountant. When I learned about the child psychology, I learned you have to go to graduate school and then you come out of school making like $16,000 a year. And I was like, what? No way. I am not going to go to all that school and make $16,000 a year. Then when I went into the lawyer, it was the LSAT that I'm like, oh crap, I've got to take the LSAT to get into law school. And then you have to pass the bar. And then I'm like, I won't even have any time with my family because I'll just be doing this all day long. And then accounting, I actually learned that I really suck at accounting. So that I didn't do anything that I researched, but at least I went and I interviewed people in each of these industries to learn. And then once I got the opportunity to teach and go in front of a classroom, that's when I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. If I never had the opportunity, I wouldn't be teaching. So you have to be trying things. If you want to be a social media designer or you want to work in social media, go and start posting 3 times a week or 4 times a week on social media platforms. Maybe you want to be a programmer. Well, go and try and build an app. There's so many different things that you could try with that desired field. And if you don't like it and it doesn't work out, that's okay. Don't be ashamed. Just move on and find the next opportunity. And then finally on this is knowing that your journey and understanding that clarity is a journey. Your career is not going to be this perfect path. I can look at my parents who worked for the government and their jobs were safe. They were always employed. They always had great health insurance. And that was great. That was okay for them back then. That wouldn't be okay for me right now. So knowing that you don't have to stay somewhere, that you can move on and that you can try different things. Also, I would love to see you keep some sort of journal of your experiences. Keep a journal of your rejections. Keep a journal of your setbacks. Reflect on some of the lessons that you're learning so that you can maintain that positive growth mindset. So quick question for you. What's one of your strongest skills or strengths? Comment below this video or shoot me a quick DM on LinkedIn to let me know you made it this far in the episode. Also, remember to grab your 12-page job search planner and workbook by going to heatheraustin.online/planner. I'll include a special link for you below this video if you're tuning in on YouTube or in the show notes of this episode if you're listening from your favorite podcasting app. And if you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're a YouTube viewer or to this podcast if you're a podcast listener. And of course, take just a few seconds to rate and leave us a review. Your support and feedback mean the world to us. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and pursuing excellence in your career.